Everyone knows that functioning in society requires the understanding and mastery of certain life skills. Unfortunately, for the most part, we are expected to just grow up and know what these are when we ought to be taught them from childhood. If you're a parent or soon-to-be parent, then you need to know and remember that kids are very smart and can be taught many of these life skills even from a young age. In fact, doing so will give them a head start among their peers. Without further ado, here's a roundup of the 10 most important skills every parent should teach their kids. 1. How to sell. Many people have the wrong mindset about what selling actually means. You could blame it on salesmen and never-ending spiels. But selling is not manipulation or cajoling or pressuring. Selling is as simple as clearly explaining the logic behind any choice. It is convincing people of these benefits, why they are logical, and why they should go with it. If you do not know how to sell, it wouldn't matter how good your idea is, it won't help anyone. So if you're a parent, make sure that your children learn how to sell. They will need this when they need to convince investors about their startup idea, when they need to convince their bosses at work about a solution they came up with, or when they need to convince people to buy their products or pay for their services. Think of selling as communication. It is absolutely critical to whatever life path anyone chooses to take. You will be doing your child a huge favor if you teach them to sell since they are young. 2. How to make decisions. A lot of people are paralyzed and unable to move ahead in life because of indecisiveness. And by the time they realize how badly indecision has affected their lives, they are a little too old and set in their ways to do better. The best time to learn how to make decisions is from a young age. Start with the simple and seemingly mundane. It could be the choice between vanilla versus chocolate ice cream or White Sox versus Blue Sox. Start with these simple choices and show them the steps involved in making a decision. Then help them weigh their choices, looking at the pros and cons of each decision open to them. When you've walked them through the process, leave the final decision up to them and watch how it plays out. Now, as they grow older, you can begin to teach them how decisions come with consequences, good or bad. They will be better off. 3. How to manage money. Most parents will teach their kids how to count. They will also take them through basic math, additions, subtractions, and the likes. However, we must take those lessons further and show them how these can be applied in real life. Unfortunately, many people grow up into adulthood without learning this vital thing. This is why the best time to teach children about time management remains when they are still young. Let them know how money is important and how they can manage it. This way, when they grow up and start to earn their paycheck, they'll be ready to manage their finances. Your kids should know the importance of saving, spending wisely, and making change. They should also understand that credit cards and checks aren't free money. You want to give your kids a certain amount in the form of an allowance every week or two. This is what they will use to buy whatever they need, and if they need something a little higher than their allowance can afford, teach them to save for it. One more way to educate them to manage money is to show them how to budget and do comparison shopping. They should understand why you sometimes go for cheaper options. 4. How to be emotionally intelligent. People with a higher level of emotional intelligence tend to do better in life. They perform better at work, earn better, and fare better in life overall. Plus, it's been proven that the more emotionally intelligent you are, the less likely you are to be manipulated. Emotional intelligence is critical to how we make decisions, navigate the complexities of society, and manage people's behaviors. So, when we are able to recognize and understand our own emotions as well as those of others, we tend to do better in life. In fact, researchers have found that this trait is shared by nearly all high performers across different fields. If your child is going to thrive in professional, personal, and other contexts, then they need to learn emotional intelligence, and you can start teaching them right from when they are young. 5. How to manage time. It might seem tricky to teach children how to manage time, but it is possible using a few tricks and tools. First, let your kids know they are responsible for how they use their time in the house. Start by getting them their own alarm clock. Rather than waking them yourself, teach them to get up at the sound of the alarm. You can also teach them how to track their schoolwork and extracurricular activities with the aid of a planner. This way, they know what they need to do and when they need to do those things. Remember, the essence of managing time isn't just about taking stuff off of your to-do list. It's about knowing what to focus on in order to achieve your goals. In essence, it's really about prioritizing. 6. How to ask for help. Steve Jobs once said, "Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask, and that's what separates, sometimes, the people who do things from the people who just dream about them." Knowing when and how to ask for help is important for achieving your dreams because, in actual fact, there are no self-made billionaires. Everyone who is successful had help. And it's as simple as just saying, "Can you help me?" You don't need to add image enhancers or qualifiers. Simply saying the words shows the other party several things. First, it shows that you respect their level of expertise and experience. Secondly, it also shows that you trust the person enough to admit a weakness that you have. These two things, trust and respect, are critical to the weaving of the fabric that we know as relationships. So, beyond getting the help they want, your kids will also end up building relationships in the process, which could give them a much-needed leverage in the future. 7. How to use the web wisely. Whether we like it or not, screens are becoming a major part of our kids' lives. But the web can be a very tricky place to navigate. It is, therefore, important that we help our kids navigate this world safely by setting them a few ground rules. Once your kids can surf the web without supervision, make sure they know internet best practices. Teach your kids how to create a safe password that no one can guess. As well, tell them why it is important to always keep this information safe and not share it with everyone. Also, make sure they know why it is important to only chat with people they know personally in real life. Even at that, they must remember that they shouldn't share their personal information like their phone number or birthday over the internet. Kids must also remember to be kind when having conversations online because, as they say, the internet never forgets. 8. How to administer first aid and the importance of health. You won't always be around when your child gets hurt, and children love to play a lot. By teaching your kids how to administer basic first aid, you empower them to look after themselves and even after their friends when an adult isn't close by. Most schools will teach this in their curriculum, but you also want to reinforce whatever is being taught at home. You can begin by helping your kids familiarize themselves with a first aid box and its content. You also want to begin teaching your kids about health and hygiene as kids. We get it, you have a really packed schedule and you only have enough time to tell your kids what to do to maintain their hygiene. But beyond telling them to wash their hands, change their underwear, or brush their teeth, tell them why. You want them to realize the importance of maintaining their health. 9. How to make a simple meal. When making dinner or breakfast, don't leave the kids out. Invite them and let them help you out. Of course, the kitchen is going to get messy with flour and eggshells all over the place, but make no mistake about it, your kids are learning. Kids can begin helping out in the kitchen from the ages of 4 or 5. Begin with some yogurt and fruit for breakfast. By the time they are older than 5, you can then introduce them to making sandwiches and smoothies. Just make sure you supervise them, especially when they are working with a blender. At the age of 7 or 8, kids can graduate to using the toaster oven. English muffin pizzas are a great way to start. And then, by the time they are 10, with some supervision, your kids can then make their first quesadilla with a stovetop. If your kid is even ambitious enough, they can try frying eggs and baking cupcakes. 10. Basic self-defense. The world out there is not safe for anyone. Yes, for some more than others, but we're all likely going to find ourselves in situations, at least once in our lives, where basic self-defense will come in handy. Teaching your kids basic self-defense could be the line between getting seriously hurt and escaping from a situation unscathed. If a child knows basic self-defense, then they feel more confident wherever they go. They are also less likely to get picked on or bullied at school. It doesn't matter whether your child is a boy or girl. Let them learn basic self-defense. Some schools offer the training, others do not. If your child's school does not, then hire an instructor for them or send them to a dojo for training. And that's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with someone. And while you are down there, you can also hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I post a new video. See you in the next one.